Hi everyone, this is Lady T from Soup to Nuts Uncensored, bringing you the latest in hip hop, R&B, and entertainment news. These two black men were arrested in Starbucks on April the 18th in Philadelphia. And it was all over the news last week. And they were even on Good Morning America. They even got an apology from the commissioner of Philadelphia. What happened, in short, was the manager from Starbucks, who happens to be a Caucasian woman, she saw them sitting there and they hadn't ordered anything. And also, they had asked to use the restroom, one of them. And the two gentlemen in question, one's name is Rashon Nelson, and the other guy's name is Donte Robinson. Both are 23 years old. And so, as a result, she calls the police to have them removed. And her reasoning was because number one, they asked to use the bathroom and you're not allowed to unless you're a paying customer. And the other reason she said was because they didn't buy anything. But we all know that Starbucks is a social hub where you connect to the internet, you can socialize with people. A lot of people go in there, and I'm sure everybody does not purchase something. But in this case, it was racial profiling. And so it was all over the media. These gentlemen were seen on Good Morning America and all of the various outlets. And so I just wanted to bring you the rest of the story as it is now. And this is according to the New York Post, and this happened a couple hours ago. So the two black men arrested at Starbucks, they take the high road in their settlement with Philly. The two black men whose arrest at Philadelphia Starbucks sparked national outrage agreed to settle with the city Wednesday for a symbolic $1 each and a promise from city officials to donate 200,000 for a program aimed at young entrepreneurs. Rashon Nelson and Donte Robinson, both 23, were arrested, and I said the 18th, but it was on the 12th, when a manager called police saying the men were sitting in the store but refused to buy anything or leave. Now, those were what she said. Their arrests, which were caught on video, prompted outrage over the coffee giant's racial discrimination. The pair spent hours in jail and were released without charges. Their settlement comes ahead of Starbucks shutting down all of its locations on May 29th for bias training. So it appears as though they could have really come out like fat cats. But these gentlemen decided to take the high road, as the article stated, and they decided to do something to better the condition. I mean, racial profiling, discrimination is definitely prevalent. And it's seen every day, but of course, there's a mask over it in some instances. But in this case, they did a really great thing. I sure would have went for the money. But the other part that the article doesn't talk about, that they're talking about on the news outlets, is that Starbucks has agreed to pay for their college tuition. So for the rest of the time that they're in school, they won't have to pay anything out of pocket. And then the CEO, of course, came to Philadelphia and had a big meeting with all the city officials. And what they didn't know at the time is that their frat brothers got involved. Some of the city councilmen were Rashon Nelson's frat brothers, and they got involved. And of course, there was a lot of protests outside of the Starbucks. And Starbucks really had to take a deep look at their policies and make those changes to begin to implement those changes. And the reason why this is so important to post is because this is happening over and over and over and over again. As African Americans and people of color, we frequent many, many different franchises and we go to many different retail stores. We buy in the African American community. I don't have the stats, but I can certainly say this without a shadow of a doubt. We spend our money, and it's not in our stores, but it's in other people's stores. And so if you're sitting in Starbucks and you don't buy anything, it's a social hub. I couldn't understand why it happened, but in a way, I am glad it did happen because it sheds the light once again on discrimination and biases. And these are cultural norms now, and they shouldn't be. And so I had to post this up and I had to share this with you all, for my Black brothers who are always having to go through some situation that is unmerited, that is unwarranted. The spotlight is always on something negative. But let's see if the social media outlets post up as much as they can about the fact that these two young men decided to just take $1 from the city of Philadelphia when they could have taken much, much more because in the social media they could have really made a fiasco out of the situation and they decided not to. Kudos to you, my brothers, for standing up and doing what you thought was the right thing to do and making a difference. That's why I always say, live your life on purpose. And I believe that this is what these young men have done. And I'm grateful that they didn't think about themselves. They thought about others in the situation. And so again, Starbucks, get it together. And brothers, kudos to you for doing something that was so selfless in a situation where you could have really, really, really gotten paid in full. All right, this is Lady T from Soup to Nuts Uncensored, bringing you the latest in hip hop, R&B, and entertainment news. And as I often say, make your day great, live your life on purpose. Take care, everyone, and I'll talk to you all soon.